Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am finally getting around to doing my perfume haul from my recent trip to Scotland. Majority of these came from there, and there's two that I came home to. So I'll talk about those as well. Now, let me preface by saying that when I went to Scotland, I basically only had the intention of buying perfume for myself. Obviously, I bought things for family and stuff while we were there. But for myself, really, I just wanted perfume. So I went knowing that that was basically what I was going to come home with. And let me just say I didn't disappoint myself. So we are going to jump right in, and I am going to start with what I call my Scotland perfume. And I mean that because our first stop was Edinburgh. And the first full day we were there, I really wanted to go out and find my first perfume because I wanted to find something that I would basically wear the remainder of that trip. And I did. I think I only wore another perfume twice in the whole 12 days we were there, except for this one, because scent is so connected to memory. And I really wanted to be able to spray this perfume, whichever one I chose, for as long as it lasted, until it was empty, and have that scent completely take me back to Scotland. So I knew that I wanted to get it like first and foremost. So I set out with Chad. He was such a good sport. He smelled like hundreds of perfumes on this day. We went to Harvey Nichols and Harrods because those are places that we don't have here. And I know that there are some scents and even brands that they carry exclusively there. So the first place we went was Harrods, and that is where I got my Scotland perfume. And we just smelled everything. Everything. And Chad initially picked out, and I'll put a picture of it. He initially wanted me to get the Erin Tangier Vanille d'Or. Now this is something we can get here. It wasn't exclusive, which was fine, but I really wanted to get something that was exclusive. But he loved that. And everything he smelled after that, he was like, he kept comparing it to that one. He was like, no, I like that one better. No, I like that one better. Until we got to this one. And he was like, oh, I like that one even better than the first. And the good thing about it is that it is exclusive to Harrods. I believe maybe you can get it somewhere else, but I know that you can't get it anywhere in the States. And if you wanted to buy it from Harrods from the States, you pay a hefty shipping fee. So this is from the Carolina Herrera Prive line, or like exclusive line. And this is called Bronze Tonka. And can we just see this beautiful bottle? Gold and ombre and just gorgeous. So this is a woody, spicy, warm, kind of earthy scent. It does have oud in it. But it's not, like I can tell it's in that, but it's not overly animalic, which oud, if it's too much in a scent, can sometimes happen. It also has coffee in it, some leather, some saffron, sandalwood. Y'all, I can't even describe how much I love this. I'm so glad that we agreed on it. It is so good. Some people would say it's probably more nighttime appropriate, but I wore this morning, noon, and night every single day we were there. I love it so much. And it does take me back there, which is exactly what I wanted. But this is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's not floral. It's not fruity. It is a deeper scent for someone who appreciates notes like oud and leather. It does have jasmine in it, but I don't really pick that up as much. I do pick up the saffron in it because it gives a brightness to the fragrance, which doesn't necessarily make it a bright scent, but it cuts down on the real heavy notes that are also in this scent. It's glorious. It's glorious. I also really like, is it Moonlight Patchouli, I think? I had tested that before and absolutely loved it. And there was another one that I liked too, but this one stole both of our hearts. So it wasn't even a question. Once we smelled this, now granted we had smelled so many before this, but once we smelled this, I was sold. So this is my Scotland fragrance that I wore seriously every single day and definitely makes me want to go back every time I smell it. So Carolina Herrera Bronze Tonka. Now, we also went to Harvey Nichols and y'all, I have never been around nicer people than we came in contact with on this trip. We did not meet anyone that was not overly gracious, overly nice, just fabulous people. So we got to talking with the perfume gal at Harvey Nichols, and I was just smelling. I was telling her what kind of scents I have, what kind I like. And we were going through some of these scents, and we went over to the Armani Prive kind of setup. And I was like, yes, I love Rouge Malachite. And she was like, well, let's smell some other ones. And then she showed me this one. And she put it on paper, and I'm like, oh, I really like that. And I kept going back to that paper. And she was like, why don't you just wear it on the skin? I'll just spray it on one arm, because she knew I was looking at other things. I'll just spray it on one arm. You can go throughout the day and see how you like it. And y'all, I could not stop smelling this and thinking about this all day long. It is so different from anything that I have in my collection that I ended up getting it. In the bottle, y'all. This is the Armani Prive Blue Turquoise. Just like, if you've seen any of the Armani Prive fragrances, you know they come in these beautiful marble bottles. Rouge Malachite is a red. Just so, so pretty. And it's got this like stone type top. When I look on Fragrantica, the first two accords are woody, vanilla, and salty. And that is exactly what I get out of this. The main thing I get out of this is a salty feel. This is definitely a summer scent to me. On the top, it has salt, incense, and black pepper. It also has ylang ylang in it, which gives it a little bit of a tropical feel without having coconut. Another cypriol oil. I didn't even realize that was in this and bronze tonka. But apparently that's a note that I really like and appreciate. Some vanilla, some sandalwood, some moss. Honestly, this to me is exactly what the accords say. It's a woody, salty, vanilla scent. It does not smell like suntan lotion. It does not smell like coconut. I can't even describe. But it does have that kind of salty texture to it and scent, and takes me, and I'm not even going to say it takes me to a beach, because it's not that kind of salt. It just takes me to the summertime in a very grown up way. This is not too feminine. It's not too innocent, but it's glorious. So glorious. I wore this yesterday and probably gonna wear it today again, because I just can't stop loving how it smells. And this is quite long lasting on the skin. Quite. Like, I put it on probably around noon yesterday, and I could still smell it very well in the air, not even just putting my arm to my nose, at around 8 o'clock last night. So good. Now, the last day we were there, the last full day, we were in Glasgow, and we were walking around, and honestly, that was, as far as cities went, our favorite. We absolutely loved it. And I had passed by a Penhaligons store as we were walking to some other places. I had every intention of going to Space NK, and that's kind of like where I was headed, which I did go there, but I was like, you know what, maybe I'll go back into Penhaligons on the way back. Now, there was a Penhaligons like big display at Harrods when we were in Edinburgh. Definitely smelled some. We didn't smell all, but I have loved Bewitching Jasmine. I do like Changing Constance. It's very similar to some other things that I either have or have smelled before. And there was a couple that I had in my mind I wanted to smell, but that I hadn't tried yet. So I was like, let's go to Penhaligons on the way back to the hotel before we get ready for dinner and just see. Well, I went in there and I smelled this one because it was on my list of things to smell. And I really, really liked it. And so I ended up getting it. Now, they only had the 30 ml, which was fine, because obviously I don't need anything more than that. And this is very different from the first two that I talked about. And it is called the Favorite. So you can see, first of all, the bottle is very different. It's much more feminine and girly. And if you followed my scent loves, or if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I usually don't gravitate towards the super pretty girly scents. It's not that I don't appreciate them or like them. It's just I really like those like deeper, spicy, warmer scents. However, I had obviously heard about this enough to want to smell it. And when I did, I was like, you know what? This deserves a spot in my collection. And really, the best way I can describe this is a powdery feminine scent. If you do not like powdery scents, steer clear. You are not going to like this. It has violet in it. It also has mimosa in it, which I did not know until after I had purchased it. And mimosa is something I really gravitate to. It is a floral that is up there in my like top 3 florals, favorite notes. If a fragrance has mimosa in it, I am most likely going to be drawn to it. So I can understand why I like this, seeing that it has mimosa. It also has iris. It has mandarin orange on the top, but I don't get citrus. And then it dries down into this musk. It has musk. It also has ambroxan. So if you've ever smelled ambroxan, you know it's kind of like a little bit of a synthetic note, but it has a specific smell to it. And if you don't like it, you may not like this, because I do pick that up. And it has sandalwood, but I don't get like a woody accord in this. This is really just a very feminine, girly, powdery scent, as the cute little bottle with the pink bow and the red label would lead you to think. It's very appropriately packaged because that's what it is. And I've used a little bit of this, and I like it for days when I don't know what I want to wear. I also have worn this to the gym, and it's not overpowering, but it still gives me this kind of clean scent. Really, really like it. And if you like a powdery scent, definitely try this out, because this is one of my favorites of all the powdery scents in my collection. I have one more bottle before I get to a couple of cheapies that I got. Still good, but cheapies. This one I got actually in the airport. We got to the Glasgow airport on the way home. I was already in a really sad mood, because typically with vacations on like day 5 or 6, I'm like, I'm ready to go home. Y'all, I could have stayed for another 2 weeks. It was hands down the best time that we have ever had. And so I was already kind of in a, woe is me mood. And we got through security so extremely fast, and we had quite a bit of time. And, they make you walk through the duty free before you can get to anywhere else. And I was like, well, let's just look around. So I was just looking around. I was like, I don't see anything. So we started walking out, and then the display for this caught my eye, and I'm like, oh wait, hold on. I don't think you can get this in the States yet. And I looked it up, and you can't. I don't know if by now you can. If you can, I will link it. But this is the newest version of Lancome La Vie Belle, and it is Iris Absolue. Now, let me tell you, I have never been the biggest fan of the original La Vie Belle. Their Soleil Crystal version, I do like. And this one, I smelled the tester, and I was like, yeah. I'll take that. I'll take one final perfume before I get on the flight to go home. And that's what I did. So, all the La Vie Belle perfumes have the same kind of structure to the bottle, but they also usually always have something different. And to my knowledge, this kind of scalloped design is the difference in this bottle, and they always come with like a little ribbon on them. So as the name states, this has an iris note in it, and that is going to be the star of the show, which it is. I love iris. Iris tends to lean a little powdery, which I get that in this. However, it is not as much as the favorite that I just talked about. It also has black currant on the top and fig. Now, fig can be a little weird for me. It doesn't always work out. In fact, I would say probably only 30% of the time does it work out for my nose when it's included in a fragrance. In this one, it does, because I don't get that as much as I get the black currant. Now, what black currant does to my nose is it gives a very thick quality to a fragrance. It's almost syrupy. And I feel like black currant is one fruit that I can pick out of a scent better than any other. Maybe peach. Maybe they're tied, because it has such a distinct scent to my nose, and it does in this as well. It has orange blossom both on the top and the middle. And then on the bottom, it has a gourmand accord, which I don't know what that means, iris and patchouli. Yes, I can sense the patchouli, but if you are not a patchouli lover, I don't think this is going to put you off. The main thing I can get is the black currant and the iris. Yes, it has a similarity to the original DNA, but it's obviously one that I like much better. And this is a 2 sprays and you are done. I'm talking, if you do more than that, it is going to choke you out. But 2 sprays is perfect, and it lasts forever, as I have found with all flankers for La Vie Belle. Absolutely beautiful. And it was definitely a much needed purchase for me on that particular day, and a much loved purchase ever since I have gotten home, because it is so beautiful and really works well with my body chemistry. It just smells amazing. Now, a couple of cheapies that I'm going to talk about, which this is going to be funny once I get into this. We went to maybe this was the last full day we were there too. We went to Marks and Spencer, which is kind of like a department store type of thing there. We do not have that here. So I was like, let's just walk in. We were really just not even paying attention to fragrance, but they had a couple, maybe even 3 floors. And I was like, let's look and see if they have a beauty section, because I didn't know. I had never been in one. They did. So we walked up there and they had this wall of fragrance. So we went over there and we started smelling, and there was a lot that Chad liked. And then I started looking at the prices and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. These suckers are like £7. 10 pounds. Like, this is so cheap, and big bottles. So I ended up getting 2 bottles, y'all. I honestly could have done so much more damage, but I knew that I just did not have enough room or weight in my suitcase. I did not want to pay the overage charge once we got to the airport. So I was like, this needs to be it. I need to cut it out after this. But I did get the big bottle of this one, which is so funny because when I smelled it, I was like, man, I really like this. Chad really liked it. It was literally, I think, really like 10 pounds for this 100 ml bottle. And then I get home and I start looking into this line and I realize that I guess they're supposed to be dupes. And this particular one is a dupe for Olivia Bell. So maybe scratch what I said about not loving the original, but I do feel like I like this one better than the original. This is the Marks and Spencer line, and I think it's called their Discover line, and this is pink pepper. So, not elaborate bottles, but really, like, I don't require that, especially for something that is so affordable. And it says right on the front, pink pepper, jasmine, and vanilla. So the original Olivia Bell does not have pink pepper in it, but it does have jasmine and vanilla. And I think the pink pepper is what's making me like this a little bit more than the original. Now, this is an eau de toilette, so it is not something that lasts a long time. It could honestly be used as somewhat of a body spray, like when you get out of the shower, if you just want something to kind of perk you up for an hour or so, because you're not going to get much more longevity out of this. And I knew that going into it because I saw that it was an eau de toilette, but again, the price was just like, why not? And again, I knew I couldn't get it here. Now, obviously, when I got home, I could realize I could get Olivia Bell here, but I couldn't get this one here. So I got that one, and then I got a small one of this because they didn't have a bigger one. Honestly, I didn't need it anyways. This is the same line, Sea Salt and Neroli. So a smaller bottle. Yes, so good. And this is Sea Salt, Neroli, Mandarin, and Musk. Can you see where I'm going? Like, I really like salty accords in fragrances. So if you have any fragrances that you know of that I haven't talked about that has a salty accord, please let me know because I'm really into that right now. Now, this one is, upon further investigation, supposedly a dupe for Jo Malone's Wood Sage and Sea Salt. This one is worth every penny, and it would be even if it was more expensive because Jo Malone fragrances do not last on my skin any longer than an eau de toilette does anyhow. So I feel like this is a great dupe. It lasts the same amount of time. It smells very similar. And again, it's just got that salty accord that I cannot seem to get enough of. So those are all of the perfumes that I got in Scotland. I honestly feel like I did good. I had to stick a couple in Chad's bag because my weight was getting a little heavy, but I'm very happy with my purchases. I like how a lot of them you can't get in the States, at least not right now for all of them. Just makes it feel a little bit more exclusive and love it so much. Now, I did come home to 2 fragrances that are waiting for me that definitely deserve a mention. The first was sent to me by Twisted Lily, and this is the brand new launch from Juliet Has a Gun, and this is Lust for Sun. Again, these ombre bottles just get to me. Beautiful orange, red, sunset colors, which is appropriate for the name, Lust for Sun. I posted about this on my Instagram story a few days ago, and I had said that I was going to be talking about it in this video. But I also said this is absolutely perfect for people who love a summer scent but do not want an overabundance of coconut. I get that coconut is in a lot of summer scents. A lot of people like to smell like suntan lotion or the beach, and usually when you look for scents like that, it has a coconut note, a pretty prominent one. This to me does have a coconut note. Not to me, it does have a coconut note in it. However, it is not a coconut scent, at least to my nose. This is much more of a summer floral, like almost I've heard it described as a solar floral, which makes sense because it says Lust for Sun. but it's just a kind of warm floral scent. It has coconut, bergamot, and freesia, gardenia, ylang ylang, jasmine, orange blossom, ambroxan, white musk, and vanilla. Now, I can smell the gardenia in this, and I've seen a lot of people say it's very gardenia heavy. To me, it is not. I have scents in my own collection that are way more heavy on the gardenia. I think the ylang ylang in this really helps cut it down and gives it some of that warmth, little bit of a tropical feel, but this is heavy on the florals to my nose versus heavy on the sweet coconut. So if you like a summer scent that is still warm and beach appropriate, really shines in the warm weather, but you don't love the coconut that it seems to be in so many of those type of fragrances, definitely try this one out. I really like it. And Juliet Has a Gun as a whole doesn't have the best longevity. It's definitely not the worst, but out of all of the fragrances I have tried from this house, this one does have the best longevity. It lasts the longest. Very pretty scent. Definitely recommend getting your nose on this one for sure. And then finally, I purchased a scent from Genre Perfumes, which I've never purchased from them before, but the perfumer and owner of Genre made a fragrance that is specifically for or in collaboration with a fragrance Facebook group. And this is called Fem Delicious. And one of the reasons that I wanted to get this, and very pretty bottle, one of the reasons I wanted to get this was because A, the notes sounded right up my alley. It's a very gourmand scent, and I'll touch on that in a minute. But B, it is part of a caring initiative that the owner of Genre Perfumes put together. And it says here on the website, with community service and fundraising in the forefront, 50% of the net proceeds will be donated to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Okay, sold. It is not overly expensive. I believe this is a 50 ml bottle. I'll have to write it on the screen. And it's $55. Now, at the time of me filming this, it has been sold out. However, I have heard word that he is bringing it back. So definitely maybe follow Genre Perfumes on social media outlets so that you can keep an eye on when this will be back if it seems like something you're interested in. Let me tell you the notes and I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, if you are not a gourmand person, if you don't like sweet perfumes, just don't even, because it is definitely gourmand, as you're going to see by these notes. It is an extrait de parfum as well, which means it's going to be very highly concentrated in the scent. It's going to last a long time, which it does. And its top notes are buttermilk, chocolate, mango, strawberry, jasmine, and magnolia. The heart notes are cinnamon, roasted chestnuts, roasted walnuts, and carrot seeds. And the base notes are buttered vanilla, not just vanilla, y'all, buttered vanilla, which sounds so good to me. Praline, benzoin, musk, and amber. So you can tell lots of gourmand notes. Now, I definitely don't get all of those. It's a very well blended scent, but I do get some of them. I get strawberry, I get chocolate, I get vanilla, and I do get a sense of the roasted chestnuts and walnuts. Just a sense of it. Main players in this for me are chocolate and strawberry. I feel like I'm smelling a chocolate covered strawberry with a touch of praline and vanilla. I don't get mango. I really don't get the floral notes. This is a straight up gourmand and it smells so good. Chad actually likes this too. But again, it is a strong extrait. You don't need much. If you don't like sweet fragrances, you're not gonna like this. However, I would consider thinking about maybe somebody in your life that likes sweet fragrances to purchase this for once it comes back in stock because of the initiative behind it. I just love that 50% is going to a good cause. And I also love that I love the scent. It is very, very sweet and very, very good. So that's it. Those are all of the perfumes that I got in Scotland and or have added to my collection lately. I hope you enjoyed. I will have everything listed and linked below. Yes, I do know that some of these aren't available in the States. However, if you do choose to pay for shipping, I will still link that down below. And I know not all of y'all are in the States. So if you are in the UK and you haven't tried some of these, they are definitely more easily accessible for you. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.